All right, y'all. I'm a little tardy trying to get it together. I'm talking about I was trying to get it together. First and foremost, give all praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yes, as we live. And the Son of Mashiach Yahweh, we know as Jesus Christ. We proselytizing. We're gonna talk about the proselytizing. And we seeing this, just proselytes converts, we're seeing these things in the text, and then we have a lot of discussion about these things. We have a lot of discussions about these things, saying, well, y'all just some converts, and well, what did that mean? Like, and do we see that kind of text? Do we see that chat or that kind of dialogue within the text? And we're gonna go over that and deal with that so we can, have a better understanding on proselytes and converts. It's just one of those conversations that we don't usually have. We don't talk about it. All we talk about is who is the real people, who are the real Jews. Talking about no darn converts. That ain't even possible. And then if it ain't possible, who converted them? Who's out there doing that? They just converts. Well, who somebody had to be original. Who converted them? Or did converts convert the converts? But somehow the original had to convert the converts. Somehow the original, at some point in time during the timeline, the original had to convert the converts, the not original. And did they have a dialogue, or were they upset about it, or did they have to feel like they're second class citizens, or what was the dialogue? What was it like? What was going on when that was happening? Shalom, Mark.
Shalom, Mark.
Let me get these slides real quick. I ain't got many, but I couldn't get it all the way together. I was trying to get it together, and that time just it just ain't.
Time waits for no one.
Man, why would it wait on you? You want to see a difference? Well, that difference must start with you. That was a song I made a long time ago, but it was from that song I sampled that song. But yeah, man, time waits for no one.
Yeah, man, we've been in the dark for like 5 hours. Tree fell on the day.
Somebody said that it was dark. I don't know, but they must have been in that same part you've been in.
Yeah,
it must have been the same part. So it's just Snellville area, Stone Mountain area.
This sucker's like right at the entrance to my little subdivision. Tree fell, so.
Oh man,
it just came back on like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you were able to y'all were able to jump back.
Con, I see the lights. Yes, sir.
One more second, y'all. Let me just pull up this little article and then we'll get started. I'm gonna go ahead now. We're gonna start with Genesis 34. And reason we start, and in Genesis 34 has been a very it's been a controversial chapter as of late. Where people want to know, was this a forced situation, or this was just a finesse situation? Was it forced, or was it finessed? But I was looking. I had found this article. Yeah, nah. That wasn't it. One second, y'all. Yeah, okay. I got it. I got some. Had that shalom, brother. Brother Eliezer.
Hey, shalom, man. Y'all about to
Yeah,
shalom.
right. Shabbat.
Shalom. Shalom.
Well, I say Genesis 34, and we gonna read majority of this chapter here. You got I think I got the rest of this stuff kind of typed out, but I'm gonna have to come back to it. Maybe a few years from now. I do the class over again, and we beautified a little more for you.
Y'all ready?
I'm there.
This is Genesis chapter 34. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel, and spake kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done.
And Shalakia, again, controversial chapter. Was it a forced situation, or was it it was a finesse? Like he might have spat a little game and did something, and ended up convincing her to do it, to be okay with it. And most of Israel is on the side of finesse. We don't want to see a forced situation in the text. But that's not what the class is about. So we continue. I'm not here to do a class on that situation in Deuteronomy 22 and so forth. But just something for you at home and listening, something for you to think about. Hey, you can speak your mind on it if you want to. But
Shalakia.
Go ahead, brother.
I mean, the fact that they used defiled, I think speaks volumes. He defiled her, which means it wasn't consensual in my eyes. Because otherwise, well, what does defile mean? You know what I mean? Defile means, go ahead.
Yeah, defile mean like it's ruined. It's destroyed. It's not. You can't get a diary for it. It's unmarriageable, and it's something that shouldn't have been done. It's something that shouldn't have been done. And I'm gonna leave it there. For me, I can give my opinion on, but I'm gonna leave it at it's something that shouldn't have been done.
Hey, Shalakia.
Go ahead, brother.
And just culturally, man, I think that a lot of times women didn't have much voices back then. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Even if she consented, it was still like she couldn't consent because it was certain things had to be done culturally, before you lay down with her, especially if she was from another nation. So I think that either or, I think it was a forced situation, even if she said yes. And I yeah, brother.
And you know that's that boy Nature Boy. He got that case right now. He got a forced situation case on trial right now for a forced situation allegedly, right? And on one instance, the girl, because this was a cult, and he a cult, they said he was a cult allegedly, and if you know, you know what he had going on out there. But on one instance they're saying, well, he they got the girl saying it was consensual and we made love in the interview with the police. All right. Or no, it was either with the police or with Tasha K or something like that. But they got an interview with her saying that it was consensual and that they were making love. And then you got plenty of interviews saying she's saying the opposite. And they end up bringing in some specialist or whatever that says that she fits the bill for a forced situation, even though she said it was consensual. And even after the fact, just fearing for her life, fearing for what may happen, fearing for her reputation and so forth. But still being, lying pretty much. Shalom, sister Latasha. And so that's even today, I know they didn't have that much power back then. I fully agree with that statement. And then in some situations today, that's why I said it. Long story. Some situations today still don't have really much power. In some of these situations that sisters be in, where they have to, especially in abusive situations, just out of fear. It's not. I don't think it's usually a situation where it goes immediately to the authorities. A lot of times, I think it's something to get sat on. And we say that all the time. Well, why she ain't say nothing, man? Why she wait? Why she wait 30 years, man? And that can go to some other stuff. But where we at? Continue on.
Verse 8. It says, and Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you give him to wife, and make ye marriages with us, and give your daughter unto us, and take our daughters unto you. And ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade ye therein, and get you possessions therein. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife.
And Shalakia, I'll give you anything. Whatever you say, whatever amount of money you want to throw at me, I'll give it to you. All right? Come on in the land, because that's how she got caught out there, because Dana, she out there trying to look at the other daughters, or the daughters of the land. Whether it's to be friends with them, or to kick the bobo, or whatever the case was. But now the father like, hey man, let's come together, man. Let's trade. You can come into our daughters, they'll come into your daughters, and man, we can have a ball, man. We can have a ball in this thing. Just whatever you want. Just give me the damsel, though. Just give me the damsel. And it's another thing with the damsel not his yet. Yeah, he slept with her, but the damsel was not his. You know, and that should be clear for the sex is marriage doctrine. But let's go.
God, that sounds even more suspect. But let's see. Shalakia.
13.
13. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully and said, because he had defiled Dinah their sister, and they said unto them, we cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that we a reproach, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters unto us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people.
And we will become one people. Now, Jacob is speaking deceitfully, right? But he's gotten this idea from somewhere, and that's why I glean from this. He's gotten this idea from somewhere about circumcision. Because he's saying it's a lie. He's not finna do it, but he's saying, man, it's a reproach for me to deal with you if you uncircumcised. If you get circumcised, and then we can do something like that, and we can become one people.
Shalakia.
Go ahead, bro.
And when I was listening to the brother read, man, that defile too. It almost sound like that. Not only that there was another nation, but also they were uncircumcised. Dealing with her on a level of sex, being uncircumcised, could bring it kind of, because he says this is a reproach, meaning that this is a
abomination.
Abomination, right? To be sleeping with our daughter and you're not circumcised. So that sounds like that could be a part of that defile too, as well.
And so that's why I glean here just the idea of where is he taking the idea of some strange or some foreigners getting circumcised, and we can be a people, now we can dwell together. And you can go ahead and read a little more on it. Ultimately, we know that this didn't happen when the circumcision ended up. Just continue reading. Matter of fact, just give me about a few more verses if you can, please.
Verse 17. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then will we take our daughter, and we will be gone. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. And Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their city, and communed with the men of their city, saying, these men are peaceable with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land and trade therein. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. Only herein will the men consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people, if every man among us be circumcised, as they are circumcised. Shall not their cattle and their substance, and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. And unto Hamor and Shechem his son hearken, all that went out of the gate of his city, and every male was circumcised, all went out of the gate of his city. All that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males. And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went out.
Now they could have.
The sons
Now Jacob them
of
should like. Now Dinah and them could have. Jacob them could have just left and took Dinah. But again, they dealt deceitfully with him. He wanted to hurt him. He wanted to kill him. He didn't want to just take Dinah and leave. Jacob wanted to punish them. And the brothers, especially the brother, because the brothers was wroth. Wanted to kill them for what they did, and they set that up. But again, they're talking about that. The interesting part about that circumcision. Things you couldn't do unless you were circumcised. Genesis 17, 10 through 14.
This is Genesis 17 and 10. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised, and ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. And he that is 88 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house, or bought with money, or of a or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed. He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money, must needs be circumcised.
All right, so we see, Shalakia, we see that these strangers, if you want to dwell, every man child among you must be circumcised, and if ye and ye shall circumcise the flesh of the foreskin, and it should be a token of a covenant between me and you, and he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you. Every generation born, he that is born in the house, all right, one that's of the family born in the house, or maybe of a a stranger that you done bought and they born in the house, or bought with money of any stranger which is not of thy seed. All right, these people must be circumcised if they gonna dwell among you. He that is born in thy house and he that is bought with money must needs be circumcised. Go ahead, Al.
And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man child, whose flesh and his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant.
He hath broken my covenant. All right, so we see those strangers in the midst of that also having to be circumcised. Again, where is Jacob getting this idea of this? You need to be circumcised. He ain't just pull it out of nowhere. He was just being deceitfully, but he ain't just pull that out of nowhere. He wasn't just making something up. There is, some weight to what he was saying, but I'm just not trying to do that with you. Ezekiel 44, look at 6 through 9. Ezekiel 44, verses 6 through 9.
Ezekiel chapter 44 and verse 6. And thou shalt say to the rebellious, even to the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord God, O ye house of Israel, let it suffice you of all your abominations, if that ye have brought into my sanctuary strangers, uncircumcised in heart and uncircumcised in flesh, to be in my sanctuary to pollute it, even my house, when ye offer my bread, the fat of the blood, and they have broken my covenant because of all your abominations.
Now listen what he's saying. Now he's saying, y'all crazy, but done let strangers. Y'all done left the guard. Y'all ain't even doing the work of the temple. You got priests in here done hired the darn strangers to do the sacrifices in the fat. And so everything you sending up You done broke my covenant. Everything you setting up is abominable because you letting strangers run the temple. So you can go kick the bobo. Go ahead, verse 8.
Verse 8. And ye have not kept the charge of mine holy things, but ye have set keepers of my charge in my sanctuary for yourselves.
For yourselves, Shalakia. You ain't keeping my charge. You ain't protecting my holy things. You done let strangers come in here in the sanctuary to guard this stuff. So you can go off and go to the beach. Go ahead,
Thus saith the Lord, no stranger uncircumcised in heart nor uncircumcised in flesh shall enter into my sanctuary. Any stranger that is among the children of Israel.
All right. No stranger that is uncircumcised supposed to be inside of that sanctuary. Covenant made with strangers also. Deuteronomy 28, 10 through 15. Deuteronomy, is that it? I think it's supposed to have been 29. Yes, 29. Shalakia. Deuteronomy 29, 10 through I copied and pasted that wrong. Deuteronomy 29, 10 through 15.
Deuteronomy 29 and 10. Ye stand this day all of you before the Lord your God, your captains of your tribes, your elders, and your officers, with all the men of Israel, your little ones, your wives, and thy stranger that is in thy camp, from the hewer of thy wood unto the drawer of thy water, that thou shouldest enter into the covenant with the Lord thy God, and into his oath, which the Lord thy God maketh with thee this day, that he may establish thee today for a people unto himself, and that he may be unto thee a God, as he have said unto thee, and as he have sworn unto thy fathers, to Abraham and to Isaac and to Jacob. Neither
So
with you, Shalakia.
Look at that verse 13, Shalakia. That verse 13, that he may establish thee today for a people for himself. That he's establishing these people this day for a people unto himself, and for him to be a God unto them. But among these people, you have a mixed multitude. Among the people of Israel, he's also mentioning the strangers from even all the way from the people who get the wood and all the way to the people that get the water. They can enter into they're entering into this covenant this day. Go ahead, Shalakia.
What was that? 29 and 15?
Either 13 or 14.
14. Neither with you only do I make this covenant and this oath, but with him that standeth here with us this day before the Lord our God, and also with him that is not here with us this day.
All right, meaning, in the future, and I'm not just making this covenant with just you that were here this day, but whoever else in the future who's not here, we making this covenant with. Exodus 12:48 again, strangers dealing with being circumcised and taking part of certain things. And we going through this because to see where our strangers, where our proselytes and converts, where are they fitting in these things? How are these people treated? what can they take part in? Shalom, Sister Celicia. What can they take part in? What can they not take part in? Are they just second class citizens? Are they among the people, or they just still, or we still calling them Hittites and Perizzites and Canaanites and what, how are these things, just gleaning from the text, trying to see how were these people treated, and what were they duties, what were they do's and don'ts within the text. And you see here now, we don't really see, proselytizing is a newer term that happened later, or even converts. That wasn't a term used pretty much in Old Testament language like that. So it's mostly just, you mostly just still, you're still a stranger. Still gonna call you a stranger and call you by those titles. But you weren't going around, later we'll see the proselytizing and the conversion. But it's not a class on circumcision. It's just, we have to go through this, because if you're not circumcised, you can't get nowhere near anything to deal with God's people, or you can't get near God, because you can't even go into the sanctuary uncircumcised. And this is why we see, when we hit to the New Testament, we see that it's such a problem for these new Gentiles who's coming in. They gotta get circumcised. The people like the Pharisees, like, nah, they gotta get circumcised. I don't know what y'all talking about, but that gotta happen. They just can't float in here, man. They gotta get circumcised. I know they believe in them and but they gotta get circumcised. But Exodus 12:48, and I was just going through these things just so you can see that, and you'll see that, Paul called them mutilators, but they weren't bad guys. They was just trying to. This is just something that historically we were doing, and just trying to gleaning from the text. I understand why they were doing it. I understand fully why they felt that way. But go ahead, Doc.
Exodus 12:48. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof.
Yeah, all right. So, and then he shall be as one born in the land. You just do what wherever you want to take that. I'm not here to tell you how to think, but that stranger has to get circumcised. And again, the way we act today, man, we not inviting no strangers to no Passover. Even if we were in that time, or where our attitudes are today, we wouldn't invite no stranger to we wouldn't even give them no option saying, hey man, you need to get circumcised, or hey, did you get circumcised? We not gonna ask that. We don't want to see none there. We don't want to see no heathen there. The heathen can't take part. Even to the point where we not even saying that this is a stranger. That this is actually an Israelite brother that lost his way. Esther 8:17. And so that's again, you can see a status that could be more of a status, to be as one in the land, or to be as one that was born in the land. And meaning he should be able to take part in everything that's going on among that Passover meal. You gotta treat them like a dog and throw it under the table, or they gotta eat over here, but anyway, Esther 8:17.
Esther 8:17. And in every province and in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a good day. And many of the people of the land became Jews, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them.
And this is one of those verses, man. This is a controversial verse. It's a controversial verse. And when did we start calling ourselves Jews? And kind of hints at this being a later text or it's being written a little later. But again, whoever wrote it, many of the people of the land became Jews because they feared the Jews. And brothers will say, well, it's impossible for someone to become a Jew. You just have to explain, what are they saying here? What is this? These are people. And then, you can't spin it and say they Israelites that lost their way. These are some people that are fearing the judgment of Jews. That Jews can go out here and kill whoever's opposing them. And for that, these people became Jews. And I was talking to Brother Eleazar earlier today, and we was talking about how Christianity spread, how Islam spread, how a lot of religions spread, and it's through the sword. A lot of jokers are forced into conversions through warfare, through being conquered, to becoming slaves. And you worshiping the God of your slave master. And we see kind of an example of this here with Esther. I feel like it was that kind of situation where it was get down or lay down, and to preserve themselves, they converted. And if you go into the history of the Khazars and some of these other people that converted, there was a war. It was, you either gonna be Islam or you gonna be into Christianity in a Roman Catholic Church, where you had a middle way with being, where you could preserve yourself by being a Jew. And people converted for that reason, not to be against the Islam, not to be against the Roman Catholic Church, and say, hey, you know what? They let these Jews slide. I'd rather go in here with these Jews and kind of, just kind of stay out of the way.
And Shalakia.
Go ahead, bro.
And that's kind of like with like Amari Stoudemire situation too, man. Like a lot of times when people get into, and not so much with the whole, the forcible conversion, but also the conversion of the economic conversion. Like, he converted because it's more beneficial for his status to become a Jew, a Jewish. You see what I'm saying? So it's also that economic conversion as well, brother.
I think ultimately, I think some of these forerunners who started kind of the One West movement, I think before that though, I think they were looking for that. I think a lot of people are converting looking for that. And they going through that conversion process so they can fall under that system. Yeah, you don't need to go through this and do all of that. But if you want that benefit from them, then you have to go through them to live under there and benefit from their form of Judaism. You want to go in there and wash your hands in they sink and sit at they Jewish restaurants and go or you want to go to their synagogue and you gotta play by their rules. If it's outside of Torah, if it's time, you gotta play by their rules because it's their form of it. It's that's what they doing. And if you want to benefit from what they doing, You gotta do what they do. I'm starting to almost appreciate they having that process, because I feel Israelites, I feel we don't appreciate it because we didn't go through anything. Somebody just told us on the street, we believed it. We showed us some evidence, we the people, and we take it for granted. I feel we take it for granted. I feel we don't work. We didn't do enough diligence. We didn't work hard enough. We didn't earn this. We didn't. It was just you threw the shirt on, throw the fringes on, and we didn't have that inner conversion. Ultimately, that we didn't have the conversion of the heart. Yeah, I think we do take this thing. We take this thing for granted, and I think that's why they have that process. So people don't take it so people just ain't trying to get in it and take it. No, you gonna need to do this. You gonna need to do this, that. You gonna need to go here 5 times. You gonna need to talk to this person, and he gonna talk to you, eat with you, and you gonna need to send money over here. It puts you through the strenuous process to see if you really, really want it. But and camps do that to a degree. Some. For you to enter in, and some that have the most strenuous things, people kind of appreciate it. But that can go left too. But anyway, y'all brothers got any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I think that we do take it for granted, man. But like and more and more, man. About you saying that convinced me even more that we the Israelites, because that's what Israel did. That's what Israel do. They take it for granted. They have always taken it for granted, and we continue to be. That's why I'm saying that you don't need not one of these curses to understand that if we're not the people, then who is? I mean, because we not just the whole black thing, but just the whole spirituality thing. Like, not whether you are Baptist or Buddhist, but I'm just saying the whole spirit of Israel, that the so-called black man and black woman, we obtain that. We obtain. I mean, we stiff neck at every corner, man. You know what I mean? And so even in Israel, man, it just we make something as so precious as what the Most High have gave into us, and we just kind of take it and pour it on the ground and stomp it on our feet. But yeah, brother.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You had something, brother?
I was just gonna say, I think this is one of the scriptures that the camp killer used when we first encountered him, and I didn't get it then. I think I asked about it, but I think I was too angry at the time to really address it. Really.
What the the Esther?
God.
Yeah, it's I said it is a controversial. I can't really remember the one. I can't remember how we used to teach against it.
Yeah, we didn't have no rebuttal for it when it came out. It's like we were stuck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I was on that side, I kind of be stuck now because I'm trying to remember.
I got Slocky.
What they used to say.
I know that wisdom is Slocky. The addition of Esther kind of explain it a little bit when it comes to that. Let me pull a piece up real quick. Hold on for 1 second. Let me pull the piece up real quick. And I seen let me see. Hold on. Let me get my apocrypha. Hold on. Let me see. Can I look at my phone? Hold on for a second. Let me get my apocrypha real quick. And so with the addition of Esther kind of explained. I seen these brothers going over there, and so hold on for a second. Get my apocrypha. And so let's see real quick. Let's see. It's right here. Baruch Shalaki, I'm looking up in this year. Let's get that real quick. Where is the Ecclesiastes? What got it in here? Oh, Shalaki. Let me see. Can I look it up on my phone? Can y'all?
All right, come on. Just let me know when you got. I'm gonna read through a little bit of this. We just this the last slide anyway. But it's a lot of information here that we can glean from in a couple of places that I wanted to go to. You say you got it?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
This is the addition to Esther. Hold on for a second. I had to get the other phone. Shalaki family. Yeah, okay. The addition to Esther 1 and 10. It kind of it says, matter of fact, I start at verse 9. It says, and my nation is this Israel which cried to God and were saved. For the Lord have saved his people, and the Lord have delivered us from all those evils. And God have wrought signs and great wonders which have not been done among the Gentiles. Therefore he have made two lots, one for the people of God and another for the Gentiles. And these two lots came at the hour and the time and the day of judgment before God among all nations. So God remembered his people and justified his inheritance. Therefore those days shall be unto them in the month of Adar, the 14th and 15th day of the same month, with an assembly and joy and with gladness before God, according to the generations forever among his people. And so that's going into when you see these conversions, even when you go look into Jacob, um a proselyte is not a he's not a ethnic Jew. He's a practice of the Jew culture or religion, if you will. And so you see a proselyte, you see even in the even when you get into Deuteronomy 14, it was still a difference between Israel and the strangers that cleave to Israel. It was still a difference. God still dealt with them differently than the way he dealt with Israel when you get into Deuteronomy 14, as far as, don't eat nothing that's died of itself or dying in the kids and dying, kids of the mother's milk, give it to the stranger or alien. Like, there was still a difference between Israel and the Gentile that cleaved unto Israel. And so, yeah, we see that that in Esther about them being Jews. It wasn't they was ethnic Jews; they was following the ways of Jews because of the king of Caesarea love for Esther. So they wasn't physically Jews; they just started following the ways of the Jews for me. And so, yeah, I think that right there for me, still, because it is still a difference between Israel and somebody that's cleaving to Israel, as far as God's eyes is concerned. And
And with the way we act today, we wouldn't have let them follow. We're not letting them follow the ways of Jews. We saying y'all ain't the people. Y'all taking our stuff. We're not allowing them to follow and say, "Hey, yeah, man, we want to serve that God, and we want to be the people. We want to do those things too." We don't take that we don't take that stance as it seems they're doing in Esther, because they got they got the means and they have the reason to kill them folks. Yeah. They have good reasoning to kill them. But they say, "Hey, man, we want to practice what y'all doing," and they let them live.
Yeah, it's like it. And I think what's happening on both sides. It's not just Israel, but it's also some of the practice of the Jewish of the small hats is doing to the Israelites. And so I think it's not just Israel themselves, but it's also things that's happening that's causing this, like, that's causing this affliction. These people come in humble and want to be down with Israel, unlike, you making certain things happen, as Jay was pointing out. And as Cal, the guy from Kevin Lau, saying that, yeah, we putting this kind of music out only in y'all community. And when you see stuff like that happening, it causes friction. You see what I'm saying? So the friction ain't just on Israel, but it's also on those people that's on the other side. And the way we gonna be able to have a stalemate is we stop trying to do harm to one another. It ain't just Israel, but it goes other way too. And I
Yeah, that's just a whole nother dynamic with it today, because they, especially like with that, us being in a little situation, and them pretty much screwing us over majority of the business deals, but at the same time, us allegedly losing our identity, if Israel still believe in that, because we tracking ourselves, we're a little all over the place a little bit. We tracking ourselves, in the 12th century, in the 15th century, and then it comes to a point where did we lose? When did we lose it? But if we do stick to this, the core One West, what we were taught, we allegedly lost it. These folks done been converted to it and been doing it since, if you looking at that 13th tribe, which is a core belief book, you're talking about 8th, 9th century. They've been doing it over 1,000 years. And you can say we haven't been doing it over 1,000. And so it's whole nother dynamic than it is from Esther, where we know we are, and we're moving as a nation. And we're in the, where we know where the land is and so forth. It's, but it's still like I said, like you were saying, I agree that, yeah, there is beef that it's things that they've done to make us salty, on top of we feeling that they what's the word I'm looking for? They're imposters. But yeah, they're imposters. Let's read here at Proselyte from the Easton Bible Dictionary, used for stranger in 1 Chronicles 22:2, i.e. a comer to Palestine, sojourner in the land. I think we read Exodus 12:48. You got 20:10, 22:21, just verses that are there to show, what's the difference between, what could a stranger do and not do if they weren't circumcised. And in the New Testament, for a convert to Judaism, there was such converts from early times. You see Isaiah 53, 56 and 3. We can go there. Let's go there real quick. Isaiah 56 and 3.
Isaiah 56 and 3. Neither let the son of the stranger that have joined himself to the Lord speak, saying, the Lord have utterly separated me from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree.
So don't let the eunuch say he a dry tree, and don't let the son of the stranger say, I've been separated from God's people. Don't let the son of the stranger say that I've been separated from God's people. Nehemiah 10:28 deals with, some, it's another correlating verse. And of course, we read Esther 8:17. It says the law of Moses made specific regulations regarding the admission into the Jewish church of such as were not born Israelites. All right, again, verses about regulating those that weren't born Israelites dealing within the temple. The Kenites, the Kenites, talked about them. We talked about the Rechabites, Moses' brother, father-in-law, Jethro. And if you, if you go and read about Jethro or read on Jethro, Jethro helped Moses a lot in that wilderness, and kind of, he was the priest of Midian, and he, for some reason, he knew how to serve Yahweh. He knew how to serve Yahweh, and it was a great help to Moses, to the point where Moses was like, man, come on in, man, you come on with us, man, to the land, and we're gonna give you some land too, man. But go ahead, brother.
That's the most controversy text in all of the text to me. That Jethro, that text there, what you Genesis 18, bro, that's the most, Exodus 18, that's the most controversy text in all Israel. And you'll have to explain that. You'll have to explain how this Midianite priest is not only is he giving Moses instruction and Moses following it, but he's sitting down and he's sitting down doing the nightly sacrifice unto our God, bro. You have to explain that, bro. You have to.
That's why I said somehow you gonna have to, this medium prince, knows how to serve Yahweh. So for some reason seemed like he know a little more than Moses. He did.
Moses was there with his pen and his paper, brother.
And this is why I say even the Rechabites, they come from the Kenites. They from that lineage of Jethro, and you see later in that Genesis, Jeremiah 35, I think, where the Rechabites, where they brought them people in, they were them tent people. We talking about those that dwell in them tents, and that's kind of what Jethro was too. They moved around. They didn't really like being in one place. And when we was in the wilderness, that's exactly what we did. We were moving around in tents, dwelling. So it was kind of fitting for them at that moment. But you had to watch that video on a short 11-12 minute video on the Rechabites. But the Kenites, the Gibeonites, the Sherethites, the Palathites were thus admitted to the privileges of Israelites. Thus also we hear of individual proselytes who rose to positions of prominence in Israel, as of Doeg the Edomite, Uriah the Hittite, Araunah the Jezreelite, Zelek the Ammonite, Avmah, and Abimelech the Ethiopian. Remember we talked about Abimelech the Ethiopian who rescued Jeremiah out of the well. Doeg the Edomite, I want to say, is a priest. I want to say he's not a priest, but he told on David. He was in David went in there, ate that bread or something, and Doeg the Edomite end up telling on David, but he was in a high position watching that bread. And again, we read earlier about jokers letting strangers do some of the temple. Like, man, we letting strangers, and man, we'll probably do it again because jokers you ain't diligent. You don't want to do the work. So, you know, you can have your stranger, man, go do the sacrifices. But I'm going to call out today. Got the Levites calling out and letting strangers do the temple work and still taking tithes. In the time of Solomon and Uriah, I want to say, nah, I don't want to speculate, but I have to look into that, Uriah. But these are some of the, you have to just look into these people. In the time of Solomon, there were 153,600 strangers in the land of Israel. These are verses: 1 Chronicles 22:2, 1 Chronicles 2:17, 1 Chronicles 2:18. And the prophets speak of a time as coming when strangers shall share in all the privileges of Israel. Ezekiel 47:22, Isaiah 22. I know we use that Ezekiel 47. I'm familiar with that one. Isaiah 2:2, 11:10, 56. Well, we just read Isaiah 56:3. Where it says, "Don't let the stranger say he severed me from his people." You can go back and just look at, glean from some of these things. Just for time purposes, we just gonna shoot through. We read of proselytes also in the synagogue in Acts. Can't see that. Acts 10. I can't see it. But Acts 13. Acts 10:7. I can't see the other one though. 13:42, 13:43, and 13. I want to go to one of those though. I want to say the Acts 13. I want to see what that proselyte was used to be. Proselyte was used to help with the food. But the Jews saw the multitudes and with envy. Let me continue on. In the time of Solomon, okay, that's saying the same thing. Okay. So it was Acts 10:2. Let me see if it was Acts 10:2. Early. Where it get that word? Yeah. No. That's darn Cornelius. Let me just keep on reading here and then I'll get it at the end. Acts 13, Acts 13:43, Acts 13:50, 17:4, 18:7, Luke 7:5. The religious proselytes here spoken of were proselytes of righteousness as distinguished from proselytes of the gate. The distinction between proselytes of the gate, Exodus 20:10, and the proselytes of righteousness originated only with the rabbis. According to them, the proselytes of the gate, half proselytes, were not required to be circumcised nor to comply with the Mosaic ceremonial law. They were bound only to conform to the so-called 7 precepts or 7 laws of Noah: to abstain from idolatry, blasphemy, bloodshed, uncleanness, and eating of blood, theft, and to yield obedience to the authorities. Besides these laws, however, you call them the Noahic laws, they be calling them. Besides these laws, however, they were required to abstain from work on the Sabbath and to refrain from the use of unleavened bread during the time of Passover. Let me just look at that Exodus 20 because it's talking about a proselyte in Exodus 20, 10, and I'm in Exodus 29. Let me just look real quick. 2010. I'm gonna read it. It says, "But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God, and in it thou shalt do." Yeah, I don't see. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. The Sabbath of the Lord thy God, in it thou shalt do any work, thou shalt, or nor thy son or thy daughter, thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within the gates. And so they saying these strangers that are in the gate aren't fully proselytized. They probably still still just basic strangers just within the gates, people strolling through. maybe sojourn or whatever, but they still would have to keep the Sabbath day. And I guess they throwing in there. I won't go into the Noahic laws and why they saying that, but where we was at, it's a proselytes of the gate. So they're making a distinction between the two. So yeah, I make a little something out of nothing, but proselytes of righteousness, religious or devout proselytes, Acts 13:43, were bound to all the doctrines and precepts of the Jewish economy and were members of the synagogue in full communion. The name proselyte occurs in the New Testament only in Matthew 23:15, Acts 2:10, 6:5, and 13:43. I want to say it's Acts 6:5. Let me check real quick. No. And they chose. Yeah. If you go to Acts chapter 6, and we'll read the Matthew 23 also.
All right,
And then
I'll
we'll
read
close out.
Acts. You said Acts chapter 6.
Acts chapter 6 and just start at verse 1. Just start at verse 1 and read down to 5.
Okay. This is the book of Acts, chapter 6, verse 1. It says, and in those days, when the number of the disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministrations. Then the 12 called the multitude of the disciples unto them and said, Is it not reason that we should leave the word of God and serve tables? Wherefore, brethren, look ye out among you 7 men of honest report, full of the Holy Ghost and wisdom, whom we may appoint over this business. For we will give ourselves continually to prayer and to the ministry of the word. And the same pleased the whole multitude. And those chose Stephen, a man full of faith and of the Holy Ghost, and Philip, and Prochorus, Nicanor, and Timon, and Parmenius, and Nicholas, and proselyte of Antioch.
And Nicholas a proselyte. So he said, choose 5 brothers that are full of the Holy Ghost, full of the, full of the Holy Ghost and wisdom. 7 men. I'm sorry. It said, wherefore, brethren, look ye out among you 7 men of honest report, full of the Holy Ghost and wisdom. And one of these 7 that they chose was a proselyte from Antioch. And again, we just showing how are these individuals treated? What is there beef? Is there beef, or are they second class citizens, or are they being put, placed in important roles? Are they being considered to be full of faith? And we see it, you see, of course, we've seen proselytes in Acts 2 during Pentecost. Matthew 23:15, and we close out.
Matthew chapter 23 and verse 15. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye compass sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he is made, ye make him twofold more the children of hell, the child of hell than yourselves.
So, the Messiah's getting on them about the hypocrisy, but he's not telling them don't go make the proselytes. He's not condemning them for making the proselytes or proselytizing, but the problem is that you converting these people to demons. Like you making these people, twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. And so it made it problematic. And if it was considered a sin to be proselytizing, I don't think the Pharisees would be doing it. You know, it wouldn't be something that they would just be doing openly or going out their way. But it, you know, for him to say that you come past sea and land, like you all over the place, you traveling all over the place to try to convert these people. And you know, you convert them to some trash. But I yield with that. Wasn't going into the whole Edomite conversion and all that stuff, but we'll deal with that another time. Y'all brothers got anything to add?
No, actually, yeah. Good class, brother. This shares a lot of light. Folks ain't gonna like this, man. Folks ain't gonna, you know, they're not gonna swallow that Esther too well, you know. They've been avoided all of this time. They definitely gonna like it now. And then the proselyte stuff coming out, you know. Israel's about to be in the uproar. How you?
And Shalakia, let me address that Esther, right? The Esther thing, that wasn't nothing ordained, right? Like we see things in the text, like the brother was going over the Dana situation of the whole raping thing, and Israel dealing with the people families who had Dana in this situation. And so we see things like this written in the text, but it's not necessary to mean that this is a situation that is ordained of God. We see things happen, don't necessarily mean it's ordained. The text gotta be written, read in a, like the brother's doing, of linking everything together to make sure it's harmonizing, right? It was never a such thing as a forced conversion. Like when we came out of Egypt, them people was not forced to serve our God. They willingly served our God, right? What you're saying, Esther, that's a forced conversion. That's not what will bring salvation. That's not what will bring salvation. That's a situation that happened. And even though when you go into the Hasmonean dynasty, these are forced conversions. These are nothing. That's why Christ said, when you serve Christ, you're gonna have to serve him in spirit and truth. It's not gonna be a forced thing. Yeah, we see it in the text, but Israel is no big deal. Like, it ain't no big deal. It's no big deal, man. We just gotta understand that because it's in the text, don't mean that was something that was continually happen, or was it as an isolated incident, depending on the circumstances. You know what I mean? And when you read the book of Esther, Mordecai and Esther had a plan. It was all part of a scheme, because they was trying to get I forget the brother name, but they was trying to get him executed. And so it's a whole plan that's going on in Esther. And so that's an isolated incident. Israel don't have to be an uproar. We just got to deal with the text. Just deal with it. It ain't like it was like God say, yeah, go do this, do this, and this, and happen. No, that ain't what happened in Esther. This is an isolated incident, and Israel shouldn't be upset. Israel just got to deal with the text. Like, our God love for his people ain't changed, but at the same time, he the God of everybody. Like, he always been that God. That's why Paul was telling you that God had no perspective of person. Yeah, he chose Israel, but Israel was chosen for a purpose, for a reason. It's just Israel shouldn't be upset. You know what I mean? Because we're not worthy of God's grace. So we shouldn't be upset. We just got to deal with the text. Just deal with it. Move on. Man, good lesson, brother. Not you, brother.
And all praises, and you made some excellent points. It's just, man, the text just say what it says, and it really ain't nothing to beef about. It ain't really nothing to, you know, and that was the whole point. It ain't that, you know, like he was saying, some of these, it's not a, these things ain't, and it's a heavy way that we have to read the text, is that everything that's in there is not law. Some things are in there that's just describing certain things. And really what we're doing in this class was gleaning from the attitude that Israel had for a convert. What was the attitude that they have? You know, because, you know, even when we talk about the forced conversion of, why would you even want to force it? You know, and of course, you know, you shouldn't do that. But there was an attitude at that point where they were, you know, jokers traveling land and sea to make a proselyte. Why you even doing, you know, it's not that, it's law. We need to go out and travel land and sea. But the attitude that they had towards proselytes and wanting to convert people, we don't see that kind of attitude today. We see the exact opposite on the opposite spectrum. And if we did see it, I don't think we would have the beef that we have. And we don't have to run in circles. We can move on to other topics. We can get off the identity so much and start moving into, you know, into some more meatier matters. Because we've been fighting this thing. We've been having the same conversations for 50, 60 years since this thing came out. We've been trying to defend the chart, trying to defend this, and defend that we the people. And we just understand that the way Israel, the way our forefathers were moving and operating towards strangers and proselytes and those who wanted to serve God, and we didn't deny those people. We didn't see a denial of just saying nah. We just saying, hey, this is what you need to do if you wanted to do that. That's what we see mostly in the Old Testament. But I yield with that, man. I pray this thing was edifying, something for you to add on to, glean from, and something for us to further discuss. Anybody got anything else? And shalom to shalom, Hebrew Elevation, Israelite Camp Killer. Peace to you also, brother. But if there ain't anything else, man, we'll say shalom. We'll be on print, Bring It Out TV, 7:30. 7:30.
7:30 on Friday, man.
Yes, 7:30 Friday, y'all willing. Again, pray this thing was edifying Israel. Y'all be blessed.
Hey, shalom, family.
Shalom.